The Pittsburgh Steelers lose their 6th straight playoff game. Isn't it amazing? Okay, I've been predicting this for the past 3 or 4 years that if we don't get rid of Mike Tomlin, we'll never get past the first round of playoffs. I've been called a fake fan. I've been called a casual. I've been called somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about. And I really can't say much because the people saying that, their mind is already made up. They love Mike Tomlin. So all I have to do is just be patient, be quiet, and wait for playoffs to come around. Just to say, I told you so. I'll have the playlist in the description of all my Steeler videos. You can go back years saying that Mike Tomlin's the problem. We're never going to win. Steelers are mediocre. We need to make changes. Always called fake fan, casual, all that. Listen, guys, I hope you can finally see what I'm doing. But if not, you don't have to. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to think Mike Tomlin's a problem. Just don't expect to get another playoff win. We are 0-6 in our last 6 playoff games. Like 4 of them are blowouts, okay? Got blown out yesterday, got blown out like the past 3 times in playoffs, blew the lead against the Jaguars, Blake Bortles, that is. Everyone likes to say, oh, the Steelers can't win playoff games because the quarterback situation. Well, you don't have a good quarterback. Well, first of all, you had 8 years to figure out the quarterback situation, and Mike Tomlin failed that, okay? Second of all, the Steelers lost to Tim Tebow and Blake Bortles in the playoffs. So don't give me that. On top of that, Nick Foles won the Super Bowl. Speaking of the Eagles Super Bowl, Eagles fired Doug Peterson 2 years after he won it. Yet we give Tomlin a 3-year extension last year when we haven't won a playoff game in 7 years. Make it make sense, but, it is what it is. I don't know why the Steelers, the media, a lot of Steeler fans are so okay with mediocrity. Who cares about winning seasons when you get blown out first round? I'd rather win 7-8 games and get a better draft pick. Everyone says, oh, if Tomlin leaves, you'll be a 4-win team. First of all, there's nothing to back that up. Second of all, if we're a 4-win team, we have better draft picks. We have a better future. Something to look forward to. Even last night after the game, I still been seeing some Tomlin fans defending him. Oh, bad quarterback play, bad play calling. Well, if you know anything about the play callers, the head coach hires them. So Mike Tomlin hired Matt Canada. Mike Tomlin hired Arthur Smith. Mike Tomlin hired Austin, okay? All of the coordinators, all the assistant coaches, Mike Tomlin hires them. So if you want to blame the coordinators, sure, okay? But also blame Tomlin as well. I could go on and on about how the Steelers need to move on for Mike Tomlin. He's a mediocre coach, good guy. The Steelers need a fresh start. Maybe Mike Tomlin needs a fresh start. People say, oh, well, wherever he goes, he'll make them a playoff team. Okay, good for them. They're not winning past the first round. Okay, they'll turn that organization around. Okay, good for them. They're still not winning the first round. Sure, he'll go to the Bears, the Raiders, the Jets, make them a 8-9 win team, 10-win team. Sure, okay, I don't doubt that. Tomlin's a good coach in the regular season, but that's all they're getting. That's all their max is. Okay, I'm sick of this for 8 years. If we were terrible for the past 10 years, barely getting 5-6 wins, looking terrible every time. If we were a team like the Jets, sure, I'd like Mike Tomlin for a couple years just to get us relevant again. But the Steelers don't need to be relevant. They've always been relevant. With or without Mike Tomlin. Okay, we've always been good. With or without Mike Tomlin. Okay, 8 years of straight mediocrity. You just gotta make a change. They go down to Baltimore. 28-14 we lose. Okay, we got blown out in the first half. Usually what happens, right? We were down 21-0 going into halftime. And, basically with that first touchdown the Ravens scored, I knew it was over. I had like a 30% chance we'd win going in anyway. But then when they scored that first touchdown, it went up to like a 10% chance we'd win, but then, we get a little garbage time play as, Ravens were stepping off the gas. We scored 2 touchdowns. George Pickens had a nice touchdown. Van Jefferson had a nice touchdown, but, Ravens let their foot off the gas. Next play happens after that Van Jefferson touchdown. Derrick Henry runs for a 44-yard rushing touchdown. Our defense was like cheddar cheese. Let me tell you this, too. TJ Watt, my favorite player, but he's been quiet the past, 5 or 6 games. All right, I don't think he had a single stat yesterday. Let's look into this. Did he even have a stat? He didn't have any sacks. I know that. He hasn't had many sacks at all the past 5-6 games. I'm looking at TJ Watt. I don't even see him, man. I don't even see him in this box score. I mean, I love TJ Watt, and I get it. Very good player. I'm glad to have him on our team. Obviously, he's the best player on the Steelers. One of the best defensive players in the league. I don't doubt that. But you got to step it up. I mean, no stats. No sacks. Okay, it's okay if you don't have sacks, if you're still getting in the backfield, still getting some tackles in the backfield, putting a lot of pressures, all that. But no stats at all? You're supposed to be the defensive player of the year? No stats at all? That needs to change. Let's look at quarterback play. Russell Wilson, pretty bad in the first half. Second half, turned it around, garbage time. 20 for 29, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did what he had to do. Everyone's calling for Justin Fields. I get it. He wants some excitement. He showed some excitement at the beginning of the year. We reached our peak with Justin Fields too. Justin Fields really would not have done much other than get the ball off a bit quicker. But when he does that, he's still not the most accurate quarterback. Russell Wilson should have been our quarterback yesterday, and he should have stayed in, which he did. Alrighty, I'm happy with that. Going to the next season, well, that's a whole different conversation that I can make a video on later. But, don't blame quarterback play, really, for the reason why our season collapsed. Okay, rushing game, Najee Harris was our leading rusher with 17 yards. I mean, whatever. George Pickens, our leading receiver, 5 receptions, 87 yards, and a touchdown. Najee Harris, 41 yards receiving. Pat Frymouth didn't really use him much like we should have been doing. 3 receptions, 15 yards. Our receiving game is bad, I'll admit that. We definitely need to attack that in the offseason, whether it's through the draft or through free agency. And our defense just got ran over. I mean, Joey Porter Jr., I feel like every game it's predictable that he's going to get a flag. He's going to get at least one flag every single game. It's going to be crucial, too. Defensive holding, pass interference, face mask, whatever the case may be. It's guaranteed that he's going to get a flag. But I don't even know. I don't even really care about talking about this game. I mean, I'm a Notre Dame fan, too, so I still got Notre Dame to look forward to. I mean, I don't know if they're going to beat Ohio State. I can't say I'm aggravated, righty? Because, this has been happening for 8 straight years. Barack Obama was the president when we last won a playoff game. I think I was in junior high and middle school already. I'm now working a full-time job, having graduated college. Okay, so it's just getting old. The winning seasons, if you still brag about winning seasons as a reason for Tomlin to keep his job, then I'm sorry, you don't really know football. You're not really around football a lot. You really don't watch the games. You really don't know the Steelers' history of the success they have. Okay, you don't really know the history of NFL with other leagues. I mean, the Eagles fired Doug Peterson 2 years after he won the Super Bowl. So you got to find a different excuse. I'm open. I hear all the excuses ever. Bad quarterback play, bad coordinators, all of this for Mike Tomlin, for a reason for him to keep his job. And I usually debunk it all the time. A reason why. It means nothing. The winning seasons mean nothing. Making it to the playoffs, first round, getting blown out, and then getting stuck with the average draft pick is not the best thing to do. All right, I'd rather have that 5-6 win season and get a franchise quarterback, get a franchise player. Last franchise player really was T.J. Watt. Already, and that was 6-7 years ago, 7-8 years ago. Okay, we got to make a change. Fresh start. Mike Tomlin's a good guy, no doubt about it. Good coach, no doubt about it. But we're not ever getting past the first round of playoffs, and we're certainly not winning another Super Bowl with Mike Tomlin. It's really embarrassing. Not aggravated, though. Still some good football left with the playoffs today. But let me know down in the comments what you have to say. If you're going to be saying the Steelers need to keep Tomlin because he never had a losing record, I don't want to hear it. I really don't care. But if you have to, please feel free to comment down below what you want to see the Steelers do in the future. All right, Steelers had Tomlin on a 3-year contract extension. They gave him it last year. I made a video literally saying that they're going to regret it. Go back and watch that. But he has a no-trade clause. Doesn't mean he can't get traded. If Tomlin wants to go to the Steelers and say, I want to get traded, or the Steelers come to him and say, hey, do you want to work on this trade even though you don't have no trade clause? Things could happen, or they could fire him. I mean, that is what it is. But I know the Roonies, they like mediocrity. They've always been okay with that. Well, not always, but they've been okay with that for the past 10, 15 years. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Make sure to subscribe. I'm out, guys. Peace.